Shalom, friends. When we think about the story of Adam and Eve, we often focus on their disobedience, their punishment, and their eventual expulsion from the Garden of Eden. Yet, there is a detail in this story that raises a profound question. Why were the animals expelled from paradise along with them? The animals, after all, did not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. They were not participants in the act of rebellion against God. Yet, they were subjected to the same exile. Could it be that their expulsion was part of a larger divine plan? Or does their fate hold deeper symbolic meaning about humanity's relationship with creation? In today's exploration, we will unravel this mystery. Together, we will examine the scriptural narrative, delve into rabbinic insights from the Talmud and Midrash, and uncover theological reflections that connect humanity's actions to the destiny of all creation. As we journey through this question, we will see how this story not only reflects the consequences of sin, but also reveals God's redemptive plan for the entire world. The story of humanity's fall is foundational to the biblical narrative. In Genesis, Adam and Eve are given one clear command by God. God commanded the man, saying, "You may freely eat of every tree in the garden, but you shall not eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die." Genesis chapter 2, verses 16 through 17. Yet, as we know, they disobeyed. Eve, deceived by the serpent, ate the forbidden fruit and gave it to Adam, who ate as well. This act of defiance brought sin and death into the world, leading to their expulsion. The text describes the judgment that follows. To the woman he said, "I will greatly multiply your pain in childbirth. You will bear children in pain. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." To Adam he said, "Because you have listened to your wife's voice and have eaten from the tree about which I commanded you, saying, 'You shall not eat of it,' the ground is cursed for your sake." Genesis chapter 3, verses 16 through 17. What is often overlooked is how the expulsion extended beyond humanity. The entrance to Eden was sealed, barring not just Adam and Eve, but also all the living creatures from its confines. So he drove out the man, and he placed cherubim at the east of the Garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life. Genesis chapter 3, verse 24. The scriptural text does not explicitly state why the animals were removed from Eden. However, rabbinic writings provide profound insights into this question. According to the Midrash Rabbah, the animals were expelled because they were intrinsically tied to humanity's role within creation. God had created them to serve as companions and helpers for Adam and Eve, as seen earlier in Genesis. God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him." Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. When humanity fell, their stewardship over the animals was disrupted. The animals could no longer fulfill their role in the garden without their caretakers. The Midrash describes this as a loss of purpose, akin to the way humanity's own relationship with God was fractured. The Talmud takes a broader view, suggesting that sin brought corruption not only to humanity, but to all of creation. It posits that the harmony of Eden was dependent on humanity's obedience to God. When Adam and Eve sinned, the consequences rippled through the natural world, affecting the animals, the plants, and even the ground itself. This idea is supported by the judgment pronounced upon the serpent, who was cursed to crawl on its belly and eat dust. God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, you are cursed above all livestock and above every animal of the field. You shall go on your belly, and you shall eat dust all the days of your life." Genesis chapter 3, verse 14. If the serpent, one of the animals, bore the consequences of sin, it is reasonable to conclude that other animals were similarly affected, even if they were not directly involved. Another intriguing perspective comes from the Midrash, Midrash Takuma, which suggests that the animals bore witness to humanity's sin and were thus implicated in the judgment. In this view, the animals' presence in the garden made them participants in the drama of the fall, even passively. This interpretation draws on the principle that the presence of a witness creates accountability. The animals, by observing Adam and Eve's disobedience, became part of the broader narrative of sin. The Midrash states that God, in his justice, could not allow witnesses to remain in paradise now tainted by sin. This idea emphasizes the collective nature of creation. Just as humanity's actions affect the natural world, so too does the natural world bear the weight of humanity's moral choices. It is a sobering reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. Theologically, the expulsion of the animals reflects humanity's unique role as stewards of creation. God entrusted Adam with dominion over the earth and its creatures. God blessed them. God said to them, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. This dominion was not meant to be exploitative, but rather a sacred trust. Humanity's failure in this role had catastrophic consequences, not just for themselves, but for all creation. The Apostle Paul speaks to this theme in his letter to the Romans, where he describes creation as being subjected to futility. For the creation was subject to vanity, not of its own will, but because of him who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself also will be delivered from the bondage of decay into the liberty of the glory of the children of God. Romans chapter 8, verses 20 through 21. Paul's words highlight the interconnectedness of humanity and the natural world. When humanity falls, creation suffers. When humanity is redeemed, creation is restored. Rabbinic writings not only explore the expulsion of the animals, they also point to their eventual redemption. The Midrash Tanchuma teaches that God's ultimate plan is one of restoration. This is reflected in the prophetic vision of Isaiah, which describes a future where the harmony of Eden is restored. The wolf will dwell with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the young goat. The calf, the young lion, and the fattened calf together, and a little child will lead them. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 6. This vision suggests that the consequences of sin are not permanent. God's plan includes the renewal of all creation, including the animals. The story of the animals' expulsion teaches us profound lessons about responsibility and interconnectedness. It reminds us that our actions have far-reaching consequences, affecting not only ourselves, but also those around us, including the natural world. The two greatest commandments, as taught by Rabbi Yeshua, call us to love God and to love our neighbor. Loving God includes honoring his creation, while loving our neighbor extends to all living beings with whom we share this earth. The Midrash Rabbah teaches that even small sins can have cascading effects. Just as Adam and Eve's disobedience led to the expulsion of the animals, our own failures can disrupt the harmony of creation. This story calls us to a greater awareness and stewardship. Despite the pain and loss caused by humanity's fall, the expulsion of the animals also points to a message of hope. The same God who judged Adam and Eve is also the God of mercy and redemption. The promise of restoration, as seen in the vision of Isaiah, reminds us that God's plan is one of healing and renewal. The expulsion of the animals is not the end of their story, just as humanity's fall is not the end of ours. Through repentance, obedience, and trust in God, we can participate in his work of restoration. The expulsion of the animals from the Garden of Eden reveals the profound interconnectedness of creation. While the animals did not sin, they bore the consequences of humanity's actions, reminding us of the far-reaching impact of disobedience. This story challenges us to live as faithful stewards of God's creation and to trust in his redemptive plan for the world. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more biblical insights. God bless.